Hey everybody, we're going to try this again. I'm on a different device. We're having some technical problems, but let's get started. So the reason I'm making this video, I'm actually going to turn this screen around. Sorry guys. Sorry for the jarriness. Okay, so the reason I'm making this is because alright, that is not working. The reason I'm making this video is because I've had a lot of people ask me how to make clothes, to do tutorials. You know, how do you learn to make a dress, you know, especially when you're new to sewing. I've been sewing for about 4 years, and I more recently got into making garments. I'm not that good. I'm definitely not a teacher, so I kind of thought it would be more helpful for me to show you how I've been learning and what resources there are. So there's so many tutorials and videos out there, and not all of them are created equal. I'm going to be honest with you, some of them are pretty crappy, especially the ones that are like, take an existing t-shirt and trace it. Really? That's all you got? There's really no instructions. There's no pattern pieces. There's no technique there. That's kind of what I call faux sewing. So I'm going to show you some resources where you can learn some actual sewing that will make, you'll be able to make more quality, lasting, well-fitting garments that are made for you. Because the problem with the tutorials that are like, take a shirt and trace it, you're not really getting a good fit there. You're just taking a ready-to-wear t-shirt. Hello there! Is it Mr. Lamaza? So you're not really getting a good fit, but there are so many ways where you can get a really great fit, making custom high-end clothing, so you can get more of that designer look without the price. So the first, and the reason I'm making this is because my friend on Facebook shared this absolutely hilarious article yesterday called I Hate These Goddamn Tops, and I think we can all relate because you've seen all the stores will have these tops like the cold shoulder shirts or the off the shoulders, you know, outfits. I think in everyday life a lot of people don't wear them. Maybe if you're going out or if you have like a hot date at Coachella or something, which I don't. I mostly stay at home. But for most of the young professional set, you know, this is not something you can really wear to the office. Let's get real here. And I'm tired of going into a store, and I'm normally like a size small or medium, and like a store like Forever 21, I'm like an XL. I'm like, really? I'm not an extra large. So let me share with you some of my favorite resources. And the first one is actually there's some free YouTube tutorials, and one of the better channels is called Made Every Day. It's hosted by a woman named Dana Willard, and she does fantastic tutorials, great teaching, and she's very easy to understand. The videos are clear, and she has some really fun, fun projects like pillowcases, dresses, leggings, some easy things that will get you started. The second person that I love, and I have her DVDs, her name is Denise Wild, and she has a set of DVDs, and she also has an online class through Berta Style, and I'll link everything below so you can find it later. And Denise is an excellent sewing teacher. She's a friend of mine, but she has a true passion for sewing education and for teaching others. And I think it really shows in her style because she explains things really well. Oh, sizing in stores is the worst, and they're never the same. Like, you could be a size 8 in one store and a size 2 in another. It's just kind of a mess. So that's why I kind of stopped shopping at stores altogether. And this year I'm actually not going to be buying any of my clothing. If I want anything new, I'm going to have to make it myself. So that's my mission for 2017. It's this sort of a handmade wardrobe journey that I'm on. So Denise Wild is a great teacher, and I'll link all of these resources so you can find them afterwards, after this live stream is over. And I'm sorry, this is my third attempt. I literally just got YouTube capability yesterday to do mobile live streaming. I was excited to try it out. Obviously, there are some bugs for them to work out. Like, I've heard some problems where if you're using a cell phone and you get a call, it crashes, which I think is what happened to me. So I'm on an older iPad now, so hopefully the quality isn't totally effed. I don't know. So Denise Wild is a great sewing teacher, and in fact, I pretty much know the basics for garment sewing, but in her second DVD, it actually had a lot of concepts that I was not previously familiar with. So even if you know how to sew a little bit, I do think her instructions are helpful even if you have some experience. Another book that I bought, there's this, and apparently British sizing is a little more kind to bodies, because I got this book, and it's called It's by this author named Tilly Walnes, and her handle is Tilly and the Buttons, I think on Instagram, or Tilly Buttons. And I bought her book called Love at First Stitch. Now this book is sort of an introductory to sewing garments. I found it to be really helpful, and I just got the book a couple weeks ago. I think the things she talks about are very relatable, and she puts things in a way that you can understand if you haven't really done sewing before. It comes with 5 patterns, so you can get, like, there's a couple dress patterns, there is a skirt, I think there's 2 skirt patterns, something like that, and you can also make a scarf. So she has a lot of good basics to get you started, and even with those few patterns, you can make a lot of different combinations and really start to build a handmade capsule wardrobe, which is sort of my end goal, is to build pieces that go together that I can wear to work, that look professional and also are high quality and will last me a long time. In fact, I'm working on the first pattern from her book right now. It's called the Megan dress. It's sort of a knee-length dress with like puffy sleeves, and it looks really cute. And one good thing about this book is, so my sizing is like a 36, 30, 37 and a half. And I'm a size, I think, 4 in her patterns. I know it's some vanity sizing going on there, but I didn't have to grade the patterns at all. And grading the patterns means, like, maybe you're like a 4 on the top and a 6 on the bottom, and you can actually grade out the pattern so it works for you. So you can basically you're changing the lines on the pattern so that you are a 4 on top and a 6 on the bottom. And with this pattern book, I didn't have to do that. It was already made for someone of my build. So that's pretty cool. So I think this book would definitely be helpful for anyone. I think it would make a great gift, and it's definitely very easy to understand and goes through a lot of sewing terms you would need to know for making clothing, like stay stitching at the neckline or understitching, how to hem garments, all of that stuff. So that's a good book that I think would be great for anyone who's interested in making clothing. So I do want to go over a pattern that I think is great for beginners, and it's by a place called GRAINLINE Studio, and I've made a few of their garments, and I think the instructions are very clear and easy to understand. The patterns are simple, and I think the fit on the garments are pretty good for me. So I have made this scout tee in several different fabric combinations. It looks super cute. It's meant to be made out of woven fabrics. There's no closures. You don't need to do buttons or anything like that. And I found on the website they often have sew-alongs. And what a sew-along is when you get a pattern, the designer on her blog or his blog will have sort of a day-by-day how to make the item. So they have lots of pictures that might not be in the pattern, color pictures, sometimes they have videos, and they really walk you through each step of making the garment. So I think that's extremely helpful. So yeah, so I've pretty much learned how to make clothing by getting good in indie pattern companies. There's the main pattern companies like Vogue, Simplicity, Butterick, and McCall. But there's all these indie pattern companies where they're smaller designers and they're really trying to do make things for women of different body sizes, and really a lot of them have really good instructions, because sometimes I get like a Simplicity pattern and the sizing is kind of off, and then the instructions are like, some of them are kind of terrible. In fact, I've even bought some CRAFTSY classes. Some of them are good, some of them I'm not really a fan of because they're just, I don't know, the instructions just not there. But it's really hard on the internet to find good sewing resources, because out of all the blogs, and every time you see something on Pinterest where the picture looks good, you go to the tutorial and it sucks. Like, it's just like they want to take pretty pictures, but there's no instructions there, there's no pattern pieces. Like, you're kind of like, it'll be like, sew up the sides and hem the bottom. Well, it's like a lot of people don't know how to do that or do hemming. So are you going to explain that? Because I think some people are lost. Hi, I'm Gilbert. Is it St. Patrick's Day? Wow. I'm totally out of the loop. Well, hello from Ireland. So yeah, I'm just sharing some of my resources that I found for sewing clothing. Oh wow, tomorrow, okay. If you have any questions on maybe some good websites or good pattern lines, I have found a lot of really, really good indie pattern designers that are very, very dedicated to helping women to sew and really providing better instructions, because I've seen so many tutorials on the internet that are not good. like it's like faux sewing, or it's like very like low to no sewing. And that's really not what I want to learn. I don't want to take a t-shirt and trace it. I want to actually make a garment. In fact, I am wearing something I did make myself a while ago. I think I did an okay job. And if you want some inspiration on what you can accomplish if you actually do get more into garment sewing, let me show you a blog I found. And I started talking to this gal, and she's incredible. So this woman, her name is Emily Hallman, and she used to have her own clothing collection, and she actually went to school for apparel design. So she has legit credentials, and I've been talking to her. She's super cool. Hi, Samantha. You're making a raincoat? Wow, that's so ambitious. I have not made a coat. Yeah, exactly. Like the whole tutorials where it's like just trace something, to me that's not really sewing. You know, or I don't know. I've just seen so many bad videos and so many bad tutorials that I really just wanted to clear the air. I'm not a fan. I want to do real sewing, and I want to learn real sewing, real proper techniques. So this gal, Emily Hallman, I want every single thing in her closet. She's an amazing seamstress. She lives in Austin, Texas. You need to check out, oh yes, Tilly Buttons. I think the book is really, really helpful. And I've been reading it, and I really wish I'd found the book much earlier on in my sewing journey, because I think it would have helped me so much early on. And yeah, if you haven't checked out Denise Wild, you definitely need to. She has a website, denisewild.com, and her handle is @me_Denise_Wild on like Instagram and social media. She's super nice. Her YouTube channel is awesome too. She also has some tutorials. Actually, let me go there right now real quick, because I really think her YouTube channel is very underrated. Let's see here, Denise Wild. I think her channel is great. She has, she's on TV a lot. She's Canadian. So Denise is Canadian, and she has quite a few different tutorials. And also these videos she posts are really, they have very professional production. So there's not poor lighting, you know, it's not like someone where you never see their face. She has a lot of really good videos. And again, I will link everything at the end. So everything I talked about, you will be able to find later. So Denise, I don't know why she only has like 500 YouTube subscribers. I think she deserves a lot more. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to her channel, because she has a lot of great sewing resources. And she also founded the largest sewing school in North America. Yes, Canadians are the best. And in full disclosure, I talk to a lot of Canadians all the time, and the stereotype is true. They are so nice. She is like the sweetest person alive. Yes, and the instructions, Anitra, some of the instructions you find, you're like, what the F? You're like, I can't understand this at all. This, you know, some of the instructions that you find, or the tutorials, like, it's almost like the person just wants to get clickbait from the pretty pictures, and they didn't put the time into making a good tutorial. And honestly, that's why I personally don't really do tutorials. One, I'm not an expert seamstress, and two, it would take me a really long time to make a tutorial that I felt was worthy of putting it on the internet. I haven't really done a lot. I tried to make a sewing machine tutorial, but that was like very basic stuff. But I'm personally probably not the person that needs. Yes, I have seen Debbie Shore's videos, and I think I saw one for her purses, and I did find her videos helpful. But I think Denise Wild, she is an excellent seamstress. Yes, the clickbait traps. And yeah, the worst, I saw one where, I'm not joking, it was like a no-sew halter top, and the guy literally took 2 yards of fabric, folded it into fourths, and cut a neck hole with a paper plate. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is like terrible. And in fact, I've been talking to a lot of other sewing bloggers and sewing vloggers, and we all kind of hate it. No one's really saying it, but nobody really likes those tutorials, because I think it's really spreading a lot of misinformation about what sewing is. Yes, you know, and that's the thing. If you don't have good content and you're not promoting good sewing techniques, you probably shouldn't be doing a tutorial, in my opinion. So Denise Wild is a good one, but if you want some really great fashion inspiration, Emily Hallman is your girl. So check this out. So this is how she does for tips for making, she's got like a post on tips for making sewing plans. Oh yeah, there's a big difference between sewing and cosplay. And there are some very high-end looking cosplay costumes, and then there's the people that took like construction paper and glued it together. So there's all different levels of sewing and crafting, but I think a lot of people get crafting confused with sewing. But yes, Emily Hallman is probably one of the best seamstresses I've seen. So this is her closet. Now, wouldn't you want to live there? All of her clothes I would totally wear. They look very Kate Middleton / Reese Witherspoon inspired. She is just she's got some amazing stuff going on. But let me show you some. So what Emily does is she'll take fabrics that coordinate and she'll make like a mini collection. Oh my gosh, yes, hot glue. I would never use glue or hot glue to put any of my seams together. Like, I feel like using a sewing machine is honestly easier. So Emily takes these collections and she just makes the most amazing garments that all work together. So this is her holiday collection, and she made this navy blue dress that's absolutely gorgeous with like a nude underlining. She made this amazing tulle skirt, and then she made 3 of these blouses with the pussy bow tie, which I think is amazing, and then she made this wrap dress. Yes, Samantha, I know. Who would use hot glue to sew clothes? I don't know, but people apparently do that. And you know that those things are gonna fall apart in 5 minutes. So that's why I tend to not I haven't been on Pinterest in a while just because I'm so annoyed at all the bad crap on Pinterest and YouTube. So that's why I kind of wanted to share some of my resources for more legit sewing. So Emily, yeah, so this is all, oh my god, don't you just want to die? I want to go over her house and steal all of her clothing. Exactly, yeah, Pinterest is good for inspirational photos, but as far as the tutorials go, most of them are just not really there, and I'm kind of tired of it. So this is another one of Emily's collections, and she did these, this is a dress, and these 2 are skirts, and then she made 2 tops. This is another one of her pussy bow blouses. So, yeah, Joann's, I find Joann's is okay. It's okay if you're starting out and you're just looking for fabric to practice on. I get most of my fabric from fabric.com and Mood Fabrics. Okay, actually, Samantha, that is good. So if you have a favorite shirt, yeah, you can create new pattern pieces with the top to recreate your wardrobe. You definitely can do that. And that is definitely different than just tracing an F&T shirt, because that is just terrible. But I really want to learn more stuff like Emily does, because I think Emily's techniques are just amazing. And I've been reading her blog, and she's even been teaching me some new methods like what a hem facing is. I've never heard of it before. And she also said she was interested in making some tutorials. So if she does tutorials, I will definitely be sharing them on Sewing Report, because I'm interested in knowing. I haven't even really done a good buttonhole because I am scared to do it. So I haven't made a classic shirt yet. There's a lot of things. Oh, Anitra, I don't think I'm in a league to design my own patterns. I love making clothes, but I'm probably going to be more of an enthusiastic dressmaker is going to be more my title. But I love sharing what I do find with all of you. Yeah, Mood Fabrics is great, but I think fabric.com is probably where I get most of my fabrics for garments. Also, it's close by to me location-wise, so the shipping is really fast. And I think if you order over $45, you get free shipping in the United States. So fabric.com is my top spot for fabrics. I honestly don't physically go to Joann's just because I find it to be kind of a madhouse. I will shop there online occasionally if they have what I'm looking for. And I actually get most of my sewing supplies from Amazon. And I have linked some of my favorite products. So on sewingreport.com and also in this video, you can see I created a little Amazon store, and I posted all of my favorite sewing items. I got my dress form from there. I get a lot of my notions from Amazon. Oh, and another good website, I forgot to mention this. While I found some of the CRAFTSY classes to be hit or miss, the fabric department at CRAFTSY.com is amazing. The prices are crazy good, and you can get 2, 3, 4 yard cuts as a little bundle. So for garments, I've actually had a lot of good luck with CRAFTSY.com. Believe it or not, I know that's kind of crazy. So So yeah, that's some, just wanted to share some tips for beginners. And if you haven't read that I Hate These Goddamn Tops article on Jezebel, you need to. It is hilarious. So the article is like, basically it's like totally knocking on, it's definitely totally knocking on the lack. I know CRAFTSY is really good. And I have, like, they have, like, I got some knit fabric there for like $4 a yard. Some of that stuff is just really, there's some really good deals. So this article, if you haven't read it, it's just basically, they're just knocking all of these, like, tops that nobody wears. Like, this is obviously for someone that's like a size 0 that doesn't really eat. And then at the end, I love how it ends. Okay, so the person writes, seriously, what the hell is happening? I mean, I know what's happening because I understand how the fashion industry works, but my God, can't they do better than this? And then, okay, excuse my language, but it actually ends with, shit, can a bitch get some normal straps this summer? That's all I ask. And I just about died. And this article, literally, on my friend's Facebook page, there were like 70 women all chiming in and basically complaining about the same thing, that none of us can find normal clothes at stores anymore. And then somebody actually posted a link to some article about how the fashion industry and ready-to-wear is not doing very well. And that Banana Republic, I guess, sold a blazer that women couldn't even fit their arms into. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is horrible. So there's definitely some and people were very upset yesterday too, because I guess ModCloth is being sold to Walmart, which does not sound like a good move. I've heard a lot of women love ModCloth because they have they have plus size sizing so they can fit every woman. And I've heard really good things about ModCloth, but people are afraid that it's going to go down the toilet now that Walmart has bought it. And I can't say, I really don't buy a lot of clothes at Walmart, because the last time I did, they weren't very good quality, so I don't really buy any. I really don't buy any textiles at Walmart, so I don't know. If you do, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, but I personally have just not found them to have good quality items in that particular department. Exactly, you do get what you pay for. And a lot of people ask to, like, people assume that sewing your own clothing is cheaper than going to Forever 21. It's not. So here's what I have to say. Sewing your own clothing, sewing a quality piece of clothing is more expensive than fast fashion. But here's the thing I don't like about fast fashion. I think it's promoting, and even those garments are not very well constructed. They're poorly constructed, cheap garments, usually made out of synthetic fabrics like polyester, that won't biodegrade. They have questionable manufacturing processes overseas, and, you know, they're just being churned out to make money. So that's why I'm personally not really doing fast fashion anymore. If you don't sew and you want to buy nice clothing, here's what I would recommend. And I told people this yesterday because I did comment on my friend's I Hate the Goddamn Tops article. So if you are looking to get a handmade quality items, usually every town has some tailors and seamstresses. Support them. Support your local community, because a lot of them will actually make custom clothing. And they might alter, they'll alter clothing you do have. Exactly, yeah. People assume that you sew to save money, and that's totally the wrong idea. But I will say this, if you like high-end designer fashion, it is cheaper than buying a Chanel jacket. Like, you can make a high-end Chanel classic jacket for a lot less than you can buy one for. So if you want to learn more couture sewing techniques, you can certainly do that, and then you will actually save money from buying high-end designer labels, because you can sew it with similar quality, hopefully, and you can save money there. So if you're buying really cheap clothes, it's more expensive, but you're used to buying really expensive clothing, then you actually will save money, and that's what I want to do. I want to make a high-end wardrobe. I'm not very good at it yet, but hopefully, yes. Yeah, sewing is expensive, and fabric is expensive, so if you can get great deals on fabric, more power to you. So I do have a question for everyone. What is your pet peeve about YouTube videos for sewing and Pinterest and sewing tutorials you find online? Is it like the bad instructions, or is it like, like the whole, like, do you kind of feel like I do, where people are just more focusing on the photography and the end product than the actual making process, because I do feel that way. Yes, exactly. You want clothing that will actually fit you, and that you can wear, and that will last more than 5 minutes, and that you can wash it and not have it fall apart. That's really the goal here. So thank you for sticking with me. This is again my third attempt at a YouTube live stream. Apparently using my iPod didn't work very well. So this is actually an iPad. I think this is an iPad Air. Exactly. Yeah, you want a good tutorial, you want good instructions, and you want someone to explain something clearly to you. So yeah, so I'm about to check out. Yes, people don't know real sewing, like, and it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy when I see videos and tutorials that have really, really sucky instructions, and where it's like, yeah, just trace a t-shirt and then sew the side seams. And sometimes their finishes are really bad too. Like, I've seen one where they don't stay stitch the neckline or have anything like that. They just fold over the neckline and sew it down, which is not really what you should be doing for garment construction. So that's it for me, guys. After this is over, I will link everything below, like CRAFTSY and, the Amazon store and all of that stuff. Yes, some of the refashions, and personally, I'm not really into refashions. Yes, so even if you are a beginner, people, I think, want to learn real sewing. I don't want to just learn how to cut a t-shirt and wear it. Oh, thank you, M. Gilbert. I will definitely be doing another live stream. Hopefully we don't have the technical problems next time, but I will see everybody later. All right, bye.